Hi everybody, I'm Ukulele Jay, and today I'm doing the in-depth review on the WorkSharp Rolling Knife Sharpener. This is the WorkSharp Rolling Knife Sharpener. If you haven't noticed, this market is really heating up and a wave of rolling knife sharpeners has hit the market. Currently, this is the first rolling knife sharpener from WorkSharp. This is the WorkSharp Rolling Knife Sharpener main unit. It has two bottom rollers, which I thought was very interesting, versus another roller wheel on the second side. And it does come with a magnetic attachment that allows you to attach or change the various grits. This does stay on very well. The attachment area here has a magnetic attachment with a nice soft rubber base, and it has about a 1mm insert where this sticks on and will not go anywhere. Removing it is very easy. They provide 3 convenient cutouts where you can put your fingernail in and lift the disc out very easily. Now, one of the things that's interesting is that these discs are only one-sided, which means that once this wears out, you can't flip it over and use it. You toss it out, you get another one. Now, when it comes to the other discs, it's the same thing. You have a 600 grit diamond coated, you have a 320 grit diamond coated, but when you turn them over, you don't have anything. They do work very well, and I'm gonna demonstrate to you how I use the sharpener in just a minute. But the one thing that I thought was very interesting was the smoothness of this device. I mean, this device, you can't even hear it. It just rolls like butter. There's also 2 rollers on the bottom, which I thought was kind of a very unique design that I haven't seen before. And when it comes to rolling this, it rolls really smooth. It's actually the smoothest rolling knife sharpener of all the knife sharpeners I've tested in this rolling format. And I'm really happy that they came up with a design that's just buttery smooth. It really doesn't do much when it comes to sharpening because it's just a tactile feel that I really like and most people like when you're rolling that across the blade. It probably does make it a little bit easier to roll as you're putting metal on metal, or diamond, I should say, on metal. I really like the fact that they did that. The other thing is that I noticed there's 2 screws right here, which I would imagine over time, these may wear out or get worn, and so you could actually take these out and remove them. WorkSharp does have a history of other rollers on their other devices, such as their Premier Kitchen Knife Sharpener, which I have as well, and that has some rollers that the knife blade guides over. Those wear out, but they're very easy to replace. However, I think it's gonna take you a very long time to wear these out. The other thing about this that I like is the ergonomics. Where the other sharpeners, you put your hand around to roll back and forth. This one, you can actually use as a handle, which I like, which makes it a little bit more comfortable when it comes to rolling the knife sharpener across the blade. Now we're gonna get into sharpening and we're gonna see how this did, but before we do that, let's talk about the knife holder. This is kind of the bane of existence of many other rolling knife sharpener companies because they only came out with a 15 and a 20-degree edge, which is okay for many knives, but a lot of manufacturers now are going with 17-degree, and your everyday carries are sometimes up to 25 degrees. And so WorkSharp did a great thing, and they came out with this holder for the knives. It is magnetic, and it has a 15, a 17, a 20, and a 25. The other nice thing is, unlike some of the other companies that have made these monstrous, huge wood blocks, which if they get wet will swell and can have problems, and they have feet on the bottom that pop off, these feet will not come off. WorkSharp did a really smart thing. They put these feet on and then inset them with the metal plate that goes over this. These are not gonna pop off because if one pops off, it makes it obsolete. The other thing that's nice is they actually created an edge right here, a lip with this piece of metal that lets you affix the blade in, which is a 20-degree and a 25-degree. I think this is a great sharpener. It actually has some real nice weight to it. It's not like a really light piece of wood, which I like. And now we're gonna go ahead and get a knife, and we're gonna see how this works. Now, to sharpen this, I'm gonna use the best tester. This is a certified tester that allows me to see how sharp a knife blade is. It is the only definitive way to really show how sharp a knife is. I can do the paper slicing all day long. You see people doing that, and that's great. If this knife is sharp enough, it could be 280 on the best tester. It's going to slice through it nicely. If I do it down to 80 or 95, it's going to slice it and look almost the same, but it's going to be a much sharper blade. So we're going to do a test, and we're going to see how this comes out. So this has test media. It is specially designed to do the testing. It's a filament that is used, a material that allows you to place this on the best tester and get a reading that will show us our base reading on where we're at. Now to do this, you're supposed to do this 3 times. And the reason you're supposed to do it 3 times is to get an average. And I'm going to save time for this video, and I'm going to do it once because my goal is really just to show that we're getting it sharper, not to show exact numbers, but relatively where we're at. So we're going to put this on. Now we have a thin filament. It'll be hard to see. It's actually this filament right here. It's actually going right across the center of this. We're going to put this down, and we're going to use this fulcrum that's provided. You should always use a fulcrum. Set this up. We're going to go ahead and turn on our knife sharpener like so. Let you see this here. And we're going to put the light on. And the goal is to put this down and to slowly increase the pressure until the filament breaks, and that's going to give our reading. If you see people using this and they're doing this, or they're doing this, or they're doing this, it's not the way to test it. And you got to make sure you're doing it correctly, otherwise you're really just not even doing a test. So we're going to go and put this on here. We got it on the fulcrum. We're going to slide this down until you see the numbers slowly increasing, and this is 170. That's really sharp. 170, you can see it there. Anything that's below a 300 is considered sharp. When you get into the 90 range, you're into the double-edged razor range. So I keep my knives pretty sharp. I hone them a lot. I strop them. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the ceramic and see if we can increase this. This is 170. I'm not sure how much the ceramic's going to do. So we'll take the ceramic disc. I'm going to put it on here, and it's not going anywhere. And we're going to go ahead and put this on the 20 degree. And people ask, how do you know what degree your knives are? That's a great question. A knife is sharpened the same angle by a manufacturer usually every time, unless they change something way down the road. For example, Wüsthof used to use a certain degree. Now they don't. They've actually changed. A lot of people are going from 20 to the 15 or 17 degrees. It gives you a much sharper blade. It does lessen the life of the sharpness. We're talking, you know, not a ton, but it does lessen the knife the sharpness, where 20 degrees will last you longer. They'll both cut your finger off. They'll both cut vegetables. They'll both cut meat. So once you're going out in the 200 and below range, it's really just such a minor change when it comes to the actual cutting experience. But again, I'm talking from someone who is not a knife professional. I'm a chef and a pitmaster, so I'm always preparing meats and vegetables and cooking. So this is really a culinary experience that I bring to people. I'm not bringing this to people as a knife sharpening experience or a knife sharpening expert, but I do have a lot of experience sharpening knives with a lot of different devices, and I do a lot of reviews, but I'm talking from, again, a culinary standpoint. So again, this is 20 degrees, and this one you can see it's actually in the holder. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit the ceramic on this. The one thing that's also nice about this is that it doesn't slide. This is a granite top, very slippery. The type of rubber they used on the bottom of these, when you put it down, this does not slide at all, which is fantastic. I've had some other bases that slide, which aren't great because then I have to get a non-slip surface to put it on, but I wanted to make sure this was non-slip, and it is. So we'll go ahead and hit this with the ceramic. And again, I'm not sure how much sharper we're going to get this because 170 is pretty sharp, and it rolls super, super smooth. The other thing that's nice about this is if you accidentally lift this like so, or like so, these rollers, you can go at a very extreme angle and still roll. So if your hand is more comfortable at a slight angle, you're still going to get the same exact rolling experience. It's not going to affect the angle up against the blade, and it allows you to continue rolling without cramping your hand. So some people may want to even roll it forward if that's more comfortable to them. So I like the fact that you do have a choice of that, where if you had just 2 wheels on each side, there's only one way to do it. You grab the roller and you roll it. Now you could of course grab the roller this way, which is really uncomfortable. And if you do it this way, it's impossible to go backwards with your wrist. But with this design, you can actually go backwards or forwards. That's a plus. It's a first that I've seen with all the other rolling sharpeners. I think it's a great design. We're gonna do this about maybe 30 or 40 strokes. Then we're gonna flip the knife around and do the same amount on the other side. The knife's really steady. We're not getting any wobbling or movement with the knife or the sharpening block, the holder. And I think we're gonna be just about ready here. So we'll go ahead and give this another test. We'll see how this is. Normally I'd have a rag to wipe this off. Now the thing I do as well is I strop after I hone with the ceramic, but I'm not gonna strop. We'll do a test and we'll see what we get. We're gonna reload the media, the test media or the filament, as I call it, and we're gonna get that ready to go. We're gonna put this down and we're gonna go ahead and do another test, and we'll go ahead and do it again, the same thing. We're gonna put this on the fulcrum like we were, and then we're gonna go ahead and just set the blade down after we tear it out. Slight pressure, you wanna see the number slowly going up, and then we'll go ahead and check that out. Now, check this out. I just used the honing disc that is provided from WorkSharp with the sharpener, and we went down to 63. Just honing this without using the diamond material took this knife to double edge razor sharpness. Pretty incredible. The other nice feature of this holder is the bottom, obviously, is what you set things on. The top, though, however, has 2 slots. Pretty ingenious. You can just take your 2 pucks or your 2 discs, set them in there, and then you're good to go with the holder. So this is a very effective sharpener. I do like the rolling sharpeners. I think for the average individual who is not into knife sharpening as a hobby or fun or a repair business and just wants to sharpen things, there are a lot of different sharpeners you can get, from the manual sharpeners. WorkSharp has some incredible sharpeners I've done reviews on. Make sure you check out my other reviews right here on the WorkSharp sharpeners. And there's the rolling sharpener, which I think really is designed for the average person. This is something I would feel comfortable with giving my parents and having them use a sharpener, or my wife who's not into this stuff at all, and she could actually do it and not have a problem. It's pretty safe and it's extremely effective. So if you don't want to have to worry about what are all the different belts I need, should I get a power sharpener? Should I have an angle sharpener? Should I get one that has guides? The answer is yes, yes, yes. Whatever works for you, you should get. And if you like to experiment with things, WorkSharp makes an incredible line of sharpeners that I absolutely love. So I want to thank WorkSharp for providing this to me. This was provided before the release, which is today, because this video is releasing on October 2nd, 2023, which is the day that WorkSharp goes public with this sharpener. I think it's great value. Watch out for my other reviews when I do some comparing with other rolling sharpeners. And until next time, smoke on, baby!